All right, so we're back. Sorry about that, folks. I don't know what's going on. This is the second time that Red and I have tried to do a pod bean together, and I didn't have a mic. So anyway, today's Monday, February 28th. It's 2:22 in the afternoon. Can you imagine that? All right, so today is the last day of February, and tomorrow is March 1st, and it is just absolutely flying by. I did get to hear Red's story about peeing his pants, but I didn't get to interact. So we decided just to kill Podbean and hop over here on YouTube. So welcome back, Red. How you doing, brother?
How you doing, man? Okay,
I've had better days when it comes to equipment. That's for sure.
let's leave the pee story, which is 24 hours old. We're not telling a 15-year-old story. It's a 24-hour-old story. If you want to hear the pee story, you got to hear it on Podbean. We're gonna talk about the other thing I did that day, and I went to one of those trucker rallies.
Okay.
And that was interesting. It wasn't very big, and the interesting thing was I couldn't find the group, I couldn't find the post, but somebody screenshotted the post itself and reposted it on Facebook. So they're bearing it, and I guarantee you sometime possibly this week, if you're east of the Mississippi, between now and Wednesday, there's probably going to be a bunch of trucks passing by, and those people are either going to be next to a bridge or at a mall not far away from the highway. And you guys might want to get involved. There was only like 25, 30 people out there. You know what? It could have been 40. There was 25 cars, and I might have been the only one who came alone.
Well, I can tell you from what I'm seeing, they just came through Oklahoma yesterday. I told Shane, man, it would have been nice to pile in a truck and go honk and wave at them. But it seems like they are starting to pick up more and more people. From what I'm seeing, it's building momentum. So I think by the time they get to their destination, it might be a lot bigger than anybody thought was possible.
I pray that's the case. Let me ask you a question, because this is
Absolutely.
where I'm stuck. It's one of the places I'm just silently watching. Do you think there's two sides of this coin? Side one is, do you think that the truckers are making a mistake by going to DC?
Yes.
Or, okay, and do you think that would have been better served if they all went to their own state capital?
Yes. I think what they should have done is they should have, and Shane has his own opinion as well, which I sent Shane the link if he wanted to jump in here with us. But I think they should have had like a rallying point and started on the East Coast and went to the West, or the West Coast went to the East, or whatever. I really think they should have went to the capitals. And let's see, who else did we have? D Dog on here and stuff. And Shane has even said, don't worry about the red states. The red states are okay right now. Focus on the blue states. Go to the blue state capitals like New York and Rhode Island, New Jersey, California, and start hitting the blue state capitals with all these trucks. And I just really think that would probably, in my opinion, be a better move. Going to DC, once you cross into that 10 by 10 square, like Shane says, I think you're kind of setting yourself up, because I think they have a lot more power in that 10 by 10. But if they're outside the 10 by 10, then it's owned by the states, and the states have all that power. So I just really think that would be a better plan. Just my opinion.
I kind of feel like DC right now is a foreign entity that is hostile with the United States. That's my personal opinion of DC as a whole. So if I would have fear of going to DC myself because of that, and many of the states don't have a very strong state police force. Now, I only know this. I know this because my dad did business from somebody political in Montana one time, and this was probably 10 years ago. But they said that they had 72 state troopers full time, 72 in the state of Montana.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of ties up a lot. I mean, they have to call in the National Guard to take care of showing up at your state capital. You know, you got the city police, and you got, you know, if you're in Montana, 72, probably now 120 state troopers that don't have time to go screw with a bunch of truckers who are parked for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, I agree. We're seeing comments in chat saying that they weren't going to go inside of DC. That would probably be
Good
a good
idea.
move. Maybe if they stay outside of DC, maybe they have a better plan than what I think. I'd love to interview a few of them if anybody could ever reach out to any of those truck drivers. I'd love to have them come on the show.
There might be a second wave coming down the highway wherever you're
Yep.
at. You might pass it by on the way home.
Absolutely. I might have to pull over and do some interviews if I do see them. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I sure will. But
you know, on that note, I do have a personal curiosity, and I don't know if it bores you to do it, but you know, I would love to see the landscape of Oklahoma, because on I can't remember the guy's name. It doesn't matter. One of the political guys that does a lot of the rallies. He does commentary, and
Clay Clark.
Stu.
Oh, Stu. Okay.
So Stu had a commercial that was for the state of Oklahoma, saying, "Move to Oklahoma." All of our every county in Oklahoma voted red in the last election. That's got me thinking. And they got a lot of cool names. Like, I could wear a cowboy hat in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, or Beaver, Oklahoma.
I'm in Beaver right now. Yeah, I'm in Beaver right now.
And I want to see that big beaver that's holding a cow patty. You got one? Did you pass it? Did you see it?
I haven't seen it. I got a few pictures, but yeah, I've been stopping and taking pictures.
It'd be a nice video. Of course, that's what my other channel is about. That's why I'm thinking that way, because that's what Hello America is about, is going to these little places in America and going to things that you remember from 92, you know, a house in a movie, or, you know, events in our life, places that we haven't seen and things that we lovingly remember. And that's what I'm doing on Hello America, previously called History in a Hot Dog. And that's what I've been doing. And there's a playlist there that will blow your mind. And I only run the commercials you don't have to click. And I only run one, like right at the beginning of the show. And that's it. And you're free for the whole show. So I'm real limited on commercials. I just got monetized. And I love to see people over there. I wasn't going to mention that on YT. I wanted to mention it over there, but I don't want to miss the opportunity for people, because what I'm trying to show is what we're fighting for. It's a reminder, you know, like the very first episode was my daughter in her first rodeo and barrel racing. And it's a woman's sport. Nobody knows that. Nobody knows that. Yeah. Hey, man, I got to ask you about my chicken.
All right.
One's got a deeper voice than the other, and that one's not much bigger. Doesn't really have too much of a longer neck. And the waddle is barely twice the size of the other one, maybe 5 or 6 millimeters, and the other one's 2 or 3. And they're like, they were born in November. What can I do? I want to make sure I don't have a rooster. That's what I'm worried about.
You want to make sure you don't have a transgender, or you don't have a rooster?
A transgendered rooster. I can't afford the operation.
So the chickens that I had, it took 6 months before they started doing their thing, man. And I tell you, once they get started, it's a done deal. So if you haven't quite had them for 6 months, it usually takes about 6 to 8 months before the roosters really start showing themselves, man. Sometimes the physical stature of them you can kind of see, because their tail feathers will get way longer than the females. But
yeah, man, I've been looking at that. That's kind of happening.
Yeah, if they're dragging any kind of sack on the ground, that's usually an indication that it might be a rooster.
You mean underneath that long tail, a sack there?
I don't know. There might be some roosters out there with big sacks. I'm not sure.
Oh, that kind of sack.
Yeah,
that's funny.
You know, not like a hacky sack, more like a nut sack or something. But yeah, you just wait. If you got a rooster, you're gonna know. I promise you're gonna know.
I'll have one for one day, and I'll be upset because I only wanted 3, right? Mm-hmm. And then, but to buy 3 and pay for shipping was exactly the same as buying 10 and getting the shipping free.
Uh-huh.
So I bought 10, and then I got rid of anything that had any testosterone in it whatsoever. I sold those to some guy, and he's probably eaten them by now, I would guess. And I kept 3. Then I had one that it was definitely a rooster, like right out of it. Out of the 3 I picked, one was a rooster, and these were supposed to be all hens. So I took a box. It was like, man, it was like 25 degrees that day. I put the rooster in a box, and I put it outside of this farm that only has the gate open on weekends and a pretty busy street. And then thank God it got a little warmer that day. And then when I went to work that night, the box was across the street on the other side of the street. No, I'm just kidding. The box is gone, but so I know it got a home. But that's where this one's going.
Let me tell you, my my first experience with chickens is I made a mistake. I kept going to the farm store like every week, and I'd see all these cute little chickens, these little cute little chicks, and I'm like, I got to go home with some of those. Well, when I picked them up, no wonder they were on sale. There was a good price on them because they were runs, and I didn't realize that runs were roosters. So my first 18 that I bought were all roosters. I had 18 roosters all at the same time. Cock-a-doodle doing some chicken rape, just raising hell. It was bad.
What'd you do? How'd you get rid of them? Right. You still got them? You still had them?
Boom. I shot them.
Oh, yeah, you got them.
Yeah, I harvest them. They're all in my freezer.
That's good.
They're all in my freezer.
Yeah. That's what, we can't harvest, but we can keep, but we can't have roosters in where I'm at now.
Yeah, you don't want roosters, man.
You know, I did want to tell people about a little idea if they wanted to buy gold, and that was that there are 5 states that actually produce money, currency for their own state made of actual gold paper that you could melt down and harvest the gold.
Really? So
yes.
What would the weight of one of those currencies be?
One was it 1/1000. The smallest bill you can get, I believe, is 1/1000th of an ounce.
Wow.
So, and that would be like the ones that I have. The first state that came out with it was was Utah. And so everybody in the silver community that I came from originally, that's where I got the name Redheaded Step Stacker. That's how I figured out how not show your face, because although we are a big family and we talk on the phone and stuff like that, we might know what each other look like. No, everybody only shows their hands in the silver community. So that's a tradition that I kept. This one guy, International Stacker, started talking about it. As a matter of fact, International Stacker is he assesses risk for governments all over the world, including the United States. So if they say, is there going to be a demonstration, or, is there going to be a huge violent event? He comes in and he gives them a literal percentage of what the chances are. For instance, one night during the Summer of Blood 2020, he went live with us and showed us that he was controlling part of, not the whole satellite, because there's 1,000 things going on in a satellite, but he had control of a satellite that was scraping people's phones. Do you know what that means?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so we're sitting there watching him scrape phones, open up their Facebook, go through the pictures, and what he's supposed to do is he's supposed to find any violent pictures or videos and then forward all the information in that phone to the government, because the government can't harvest it directly from us. They hire somebody to do it. So today he did a great video, and this is the guy that was first talking about the Utah Goldbacks a year before they came out, and we all got signed up and we all bought some. And so today's video, he's explaining exactly why he's leaving tomorrow to go work on all this bullshit that's going on, but not for one of the Russia or Ukraine, but I believe one of the surrounding countries. And he's going to go work on risk management in a country around where the bullshit's at. I think it's Turkey. I think he's going to Turkey. So his video today, International Stacker, was a live stream. His most recent live stream, definitely worth the watch. But A Utah Goldback, he has all denominations. So, like you asked, 1/1000ths. Well, he's got 1/200ths, or whatever the $100 bill is, and that
Wow.
bill would never fit in a regular wallet because it's got a lot of gold in it.
Hmm.
So it's a bigger, thicker bill. It's $100 bill. And when the Goldbacks first came out, this teenage kid in Utah ordered a pizza from Domino's, got it delivered, and paid in Goldbacks. Right now, a Goldback will cost you $4.02
For $1.
One Goldback. Yeah. So if you want 100 Goldbacks, that's going to cost you 400. Now, just by like buying silver and gold coins, there's a VIG, a handling fee, because the price of the bill is exactly the value of the gold. And then you got printing and inventing and all that stuff on top of it. There might be a little VIG worked into it, but the people that are contracted by the state to distribute it, they're going to get their little VIG out of it. So you could buy a couple bills for fun to look at, or buy a lot.
Let me ask you this question, Red. So you said that the goldback bill is for the value of what gold is. So gold fluctuates. So what happens if gold was to go through the roof and it was $4,000 an ounce, or if it went through the basement and was only worth $400 an ounce again? How does that all work?
That is a great question. If the whole world, or all of America, or all of the state of Utah or Nebraska has their they have the best name for theirs. I forget what it is. I'll remember in a minute. But if that happens and everyone's using the Goldback, the value of gold doesn't really matter, because whether it goes up or down, we're all using Goldbacks. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's a different thing than buying a gold coin, because now you're playing with currency. And when you play with the currency, I mean, the cheapest thing you could buy with a Goldback is going to be $4.02. And I don't know what the way around that, in my opinion, would be silver dimes. Silver dime is like $1.79 or $1.53. I don't know what silver is today, but that's what most of my collection is: old junky silver dimes, old constitutional, because it's the cheapest silver you can get, and it was made by the most trusted source on the planet, and it's been through the pockets of 10,000 Americans. It's not worth anything. It might say 1943 on it, but there's a bazillion of those. You got to have one where George Washington's winking at you. There's certain ones that have dyed defects and stuff like that might be worth something, but generally, or if a mint very rarely does. As a matter of fact, for the last 2 years, the U.S. Mint West Point was actually coining all of the designs of quarters. So every couple of months, they would release 10,000 of each design. I believe that was it. There was only 100,000. Was it 100,000 of each? Yeah, it was 100,000 of each design. So they're super rare to find a quarter from 2019, 2020, that instead of having a D for Denver or the P for Philadelphia Mint, you get the W for West Point.
Yeah.
So, that's so us in the coin community, we were going to the bank with $500, buying boxes of these quarters, bringing them home. My buddy over in Hawaii, his home literally looks over Pearl Harbor, his name is Silver Nitrate, and he went to the bank and he got the whole box. It was all West Points for the whole island. He got everybody's West Points. So in one box, there was nothing but West Points in the box, every row. So anyways, I would use silver to offset that. But if everybody's using it, I guess the answer to the question is the price of gold doesn't matter if everybody's using it for currency, because every day everybody's money goes up and everybody's money goes down.
Yep. Well, that's pretty amazing, and I'd like to see one of those in person, physically have one of those gold backed dollars, just to Man, I should go home back up through Utah. I think I can actually. I can clip the corner of Utah. I can go through Seattle or Salt Lake. Maybe I could stop and get one of those.
Call a bank ahead of time before you do it. If they're not in already distributed, if they're not distributed ones that are in circulation, then there is a site that you got to go sign up for, and they will sit on the Goldbacks for you, which you don't want them to do because you need to have it in your hand for it to work.
Mhm.
Or you can try it that way. The best describe it. It's like, you ever play with like a negative film from a printer, like like a newspaper, like the plastic that they would make the negative out of, a plasticky paper.
Yep.
It feels like a very thick, heavy duty, plasticky paper. I kept one in my wallet for the longest time. I don't know what the hell happened to it. They get bent to shit and they look like crap real easy.
Yeah, you probably spent it.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I'm not in the state that where people even know. And that's why I want people to know, because there are, I think, Wyoming, Nebraska. Nebraska has the Shamrock. That's the name of their money. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think, wow, I'm going to get a pocket full of Shamrocks. And so the Shamrocks is Nebraska, Wyoming, Utah, Nevada. And you know what? People will have fun looking up to see if their state is the one I can't remember. But I'm telling you guys, get some Goldbacks, because
So
do we need
Wyoming has Goldbacks too?
I believe it's Wyoming. It's Wyoming.
I got to go through Wyoming to get home. So
Let me see. I know I wrote it down.
Maybe I can get one in Wyoming and one in Utah, and I can get a few of these Goldbacks.
You know what? I bet you if they're all the same denomination, I'm willing to bet they're all exactly the same size. The gold is actually part of the design of the bill. So if you remember, how beautiful a back of a dollar, or the front for that matter, of any bill is pretty beautiful. It's that intricate of work. Like, I believe it's like a lady leaning up against one of those Roman looking pillars, and she's got flowers in her lap and stuff like that on the Utah one Goldback for one. But when you flip it over, you see the actual gold that's in the bill that makes it valuable, because it's part of the picture.
Mm-hmm.
And when the whole thing is gold, the whole bill is gold, but you got to see it. They're very interesting. And here's my point: why do we need Mr. Schwab's credits when we can get Goldbacks?
Correct. And Denise says swing through and pick up one from each state on your way home. I'm going to try. I got to go through Green River, so I can call ahead to Green River, find a bank, get a Goldback there. I can call Salt Lake and find a bank there and get a Goldback. So I at least get 2 out of the 5, and then I could show everybody here on YouTube and Facebook. That'd be pretty cool to show that.
Yeah. And if you got a little, extra spend, try and get a bigger denomination, because the wallets are cartoony. It's a very cartoon wallet because it's freaking big, because they make wallets for this stuff, and because the one Goldback is a little bit fatter than a dollar bill and a little bit shorter than a dollar bill. But as you go on, the sizes get enormous on these bills.
So
you got a piece of paper.
If I had $1,000 to smoke, I guess that'd be a pretty big Goldback, huh?
Yeah, that would be a big Goldback. So what would that be divided by 4? So what would that be? $1,000 would get you. Was 250 Goldbacks? Is that right? 25 times 4. Yeah, you get, and I think they have an actual 250 denomination. I think that's actually a bill. They don't. Really? I don't. The numbers are not common with ours. It's like 1. There might be a 3, a 5, 10, 15. It's very.
It's a little different.
Yeah. Because I mean, how do you make change?
Yeah.
With the Goldback.
Karen is asking, does every state have the Goldback? I believe the answer is no. It's only 5 states. And Red remembers 4 out of the 5. So it's.
And I'm trying to find the darn piece of paper that I had sitting here where I was talking to your producer and I wrote them all down. And but I that's okay. I'm very sure I got the first 4 right. I might be. No, I'm sure it's Wyoming. It was Utah first, and then Nevada was like, we got to do that, and then Nevada was the second one. I think Wyoming was third, and I just found out about Nebraska, and then when theirs is called the Shamrock. Now there are a lot of currencies in a lot of states. I'd say almost half of them. When I looked in Wikipedia the other day, many, but only 5 of them are using Goldbacks, which is guaranteed. And if anybody screws you over or the whole world shuts down, you got the gold in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got a value in a number.
Gina is asking, Red, do these 5 states have they always had Goldbacks, or is this something new?
No, the first Goldback came out in Nevada, I'd say 2017, maybe 2018. Is when the first Goldback came out for Utah. And there is a video on YouTube of that kid, like I said, ordering the pizza and paying with Goldbacks from Domino's.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah,
Meeker, Oklahoma is in the house, Shane.
Who?
Meeker, Oklahoma. Do you know where Meeker is?
I have no clue where Meeker is.
All right, well, we got one here. I'm from Meeker, Oklahoma.
That's a cool state. When there's a bunch of towns you never heard of.
Hey, I drove through Oklahoma, just the Panhandle. Shane says, listen, when you live in the Panhandle, you go 20 miles north, you're in Kansas. 20 miles south, you're in Texas. It's really not that big of an area in the Panhandle itself, and there's a lot of there's oil out here and a bunch of nothing. So
I'm looking for a bunch of nothing.
There's a bunch of that out here. You could make a home right here in Beaver, Oklahoma, and you get all that you want.
That sounds beautiful.
And I think the land's pretty cheap around here too. I don't think it's too terribly expensive.
That's what I was hoping for. And I know I'm going to have to work on the dirt a little bit unless I go way, way north Oklahoma. I think
the weather here is pretty nice too. It's supposed to get up over 60 today. It was 59 yesterday. Tomorrow it's supposed to be 70, and by Thursday it's supposed to be 82 degrees here. So, or maybe that's Friday. So, pretty warm temperatures here
in the Panhandle of Oklahoma.
In the Panhandle of Oklahoma, I am.
That sounds like a good place.
So yeah, I'm not far from Kansas. I'm not far from Colorado. I'm not far from Texas, right here where we're at.
You can be in Colorado in 4 hours from here. You can be in deep Colorado.
Deep Colorado. That don't sound good. It used to sound good in the 80s. Like, yeah, I'll go to Colorado now. It's like, how do I get out of Colorado?
Yeah.
That lady just got arrested now. That lady that was on the Mike Lindell Symposium.
Really?
Yeah. They arrested her in an ice cream place or something like that. They made a big scene and they had cameras.
I'm sorry, but do not mess with me when I'm eating my ice cream. You want to arrest me? Do it when I'm sitting on my throne or I'm watching TV or maybe I'm cooking some ramen noodles or something. But don't mess with me when I'm eating ice cream. I can get pretty angry.
She did. She was hangry with a capital H. She was hangry.
Elizabeth says, I'm in Texas Panhandle, just a couple short hours from Captain Finger.
That's cool.
Where at?
Yeah. Hello from Norman, Oklahoma. Greg.
Norman, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I live there.
Shane says he lived in Norman.
For a little bit. Well, I lived in Moore.
Oh, Deborah says Bernice, Oklahoma. Bernice, B-R-N-I-C-E. Bernice, Oklahoma. Bryce? Bernice? Bryce? No, it's Bernice.
B-R.
B-E-R.
Did everybody's cousin get a town named after him in Oklahoma?
Probably. Hey, we got T-Muckin from Wichita, so I've been through Wichita.
Oh.
And Gina H says, I'm in Burlington, Vermont, the liberal atheist womb. Yeah, absolutely. And we got people from all over. Hello from Taylor, Michigan. Daniel, hello. How are you?
So I came up with this idea that I got to find somebody in Canada to help me with, and that is barbecue at the border. We talked about that for a minute once.
Yep. Hey, I'm game, man.
Anybody in Canada is fly by. I'm happy to drive anywhere. Now I got a lot of vacation time, but it's already been picked, but I'm happy to drive anywhere. I'm far enough. It doesn't matter if I have to go east or go west just for one day. Thing is, you got to find kind of a small town that's going to be cool with it and be like, hey, we can make some money off these a-holes. Let's let them in here. You know, what we need one of those towns. Not we're going to be a big, you know, not where we're a pimple on their ass. You know, that's what I got to try and think of. It's like Detroit probably won't be cool with it along the river.
Probably not. Denise is working on reaching back out to Frank Lopez Jr. For the south of the border there, Red. So as soon as I talk to Frank, maybe we can work something out down there on the southern border and have a barbecue down there. I'm definitely.
I'd go south. It's the same either way for me, really. It's a little bit longer south, but not that's going to add a day onto my trip or anything like that. I'd be happy to go south. Spend some time in Texas. We got to wait for some stuff to get figured out there first. You know, that might not be in 2022.
Yeah.
Unless, you know, where there's with all the crap
my
going
luck,
on.
And knowing my luck, I'd get rounded up at the border and they'd ship me to Mexico and I couldn't get out. Which might not be a bad thing. It might not be a bad thing.
And it won't be the cops, it would be the cartel that would make you go south.
Probably.
No, gringo, you're going south, man. That's what I gotta stay away from the cartel. They'll eat all our food. All the Polish sausage will be gone. That's the worst of it.
So have you heard?
Gonna fix itself.
Have you heard anything more coming out of Canada for the convoy up there and all the patriots? Have you heard anything else?
The truck drivers that got their trucks back had either the windows rolled down or broken, and the cabs were covered in snow inside. And they were left running till they ran out of gas on the the tow truck property lot.
Man, that's just
$1,200 bucks. $1,200 And there was only certain people that got their trucks back, and I don't know how they decided, you know, what that was. But Canada's voting today on passing the social credit score, or a bill that has something about the credit score, social score in it. One of the two, but there's a vote going on today, unless I was watching a video from yesterday, that's coming down the pike for those. And that means, I mean, at what point did you, I guess it was, for us, it was the Patriot Act where we gave up our right to say, how are you going to judge me based on every website I've ever been to in my life? I mean, how is that? Yeah, right. It's like I didn't authorize anyone, a bank, to decide to give me a loan or not, or let me even open up an account. And that's why I'm saying let's go with Goldbacks, because screw this Schwab's credits. I don't like the word credits. I can't hold credits. I can hold gold. As long as I got gold, my family can eat. As long as it's in the palm of my hand. But your battery goes out in your phone and you're broke, let alone them shutting it off.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So what are your thoughts on the Trump speech at the CPAC? Did you watch any of that, Red?
Yeah, I did watch it. I loved the part when he sent the guy from Al Qaeda the picture of his house. He said, "I'm going to vote you out." He muddled the F word real quietly. I started laughing so hard. I had to watch that twice. I thought it was enthusiastic. I'll bet you there were more blue zombies watching it than normal. I think that since they're not, everybody has, like, you go to CNN's website and anytime they put Trump in the thumbnail, they get triple the views.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So those same people probably are going to listen to the guy give a speech. I've listened to plenty of presidents that I hate give speeches.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah, see, that's marketing 101. They know that Trump brings the numbers that make them the money. It's no different than here in YouTube land. I mean, certain people will put my name in their thumbnail and they get the most views they've ever had in their entire YouTube history. And it's just a way to get clicks, and
Yep.
that's fine. I mean, I throw things in there like oh my God, Red Step Stacker peed his pants, and I put that in
I
the
asked you
title.
to.
Yeah, that helps get clicks, right? Because everybody wants to know, why did he pee his pants?
Yeah. You can even throw the word in yesterday if they think it's like we're going to hear a story about him being 8 years old. No, he was in his 50s when he did that.
He was in his 50s.
And he didn't care.
Yesterday. So it's kind of Dumb and Dumber when they did that on the little motorcycle was nice and warm for a minute, but then it gets cold really fast.
Yeah, it did.
It's kind of uncomfortable.
I had to change the heat setting because I had it blown on my head while I was peeing, but then when I started getting cold, I had to put the floor one on, and it was going right up the pant legs where I needed it. It was because my ankles were getting cold. It was this story. You got to hear the whole story because there's a 23-year-old girl that would have been out of my range at that age that knew I peed myself when I was trying to get a burrito after I peed myself. It's a long story. You'll have to go back in Podbean to hear it.
Oh well.
Don't take the advice of anybody who peed themselves yesterday. I think that's a rule. Don't get into Goldbacks. Stay away from them.
Well, it's probably not a great way to pick up on a 23-year-old either.
No.
If you pee yourself. Well, unless she might have.
She might think that's cool.
She might think that's cool. Like, hey, I could take care of Grandpa. That's
an
something I
alpha.
can do.
Yeah, if they could
That's an alpha. That's an alpha. He pees on his own leg. He's an alpha dog.
You don't care. You don't care.
He's marking his territory. Wait a minute. That's his own pants. Oh boy.
What's your boyfriend doing over on my tree? He's an alpha. He's gonna hit 3 or 4 of them. He'll be back. Don't give him any more beer.
Oh boy.
That'd be a great picnic.
Yeah, it would be.
It'd be a good contest. Who could pee themselves the worst?
Oh.
I would do that. I would do that because I can't eat those eating contests at like Nathan's. I would never win that, but I can win a peeing contest. We're wearing jeans, and you got to try and get the jeans as dark as you can. We're way off base. Where did I go with this ship? Let's turn it back.
Oh boy, we could be a Depends commercial right here.
Yeah, we're almost there. I say screw the Depends. Go flying Hawaiian or whatever we called it back in the 80s when you didn't wear underpants.
Oh, Commando.
Go Commando and let it go.
Just
and
let
I'll
it go.
tell you, it is a wonderful experience for the first half, and then it goes bad real quick. You're like, this ain't bad.
You don't want to do that in North Dakota right now, or it would freeze. It would freeze before you could even take 2 steps.
I'd be doing the Penweg walk up my stairs, trying to get back in the house before the neighbors notice. My pants are frozen. I can't bend my knees. Yeah, I could see that happening. I was almost there. Anyways, don't drink. Don't go. There's so many don'ts in that one. Anyway, I want to go there. You got to hear it on Podbean. The whole thing is there, and it's good. So let's see, what else was I throwing around? You know what I did want to mention? I'm going to ask this guy somewhere somehow. I don't know if I should do it on History in a Hot Dog, which is now Hello America, or back on one of the other ones. But there is a point in history that is actually well documented when kind of all this crap started turning, like this wokeness, where we went from political correct to woke.
Yeah.
And there are 3 or 4 videos that this guy named the Guitarologist, he's in the guitar community.
Mhm.
Every Friday he used to do something called Shitpost Friday, and he was following this story where, you know, the band, what are they called? They used to be called Old School. It's that metal band. They're like they make fun of metal bands. They're real famous. Pink Panther, not Panthers. I can't remember. They're really big. They tour. They're not a real band, but they're like 4 really good musicians that make fun of heavy metal,
Okay.
and they're huge. And Steel Panther, that's it. So Steel Panther came out with a pedal, and the pedal, if you got kids, turn it off for a minute because I'm going to try and spell a word. But the pedal was called P blank blank SY Melter. And it wasn't actually a pedal. It was just a sound bite that this pedal guy could put into a pedal. So they put out this pedal, and then this Canadian singer of some band raised hell about the pedal and started this huge what do you call when you stop buying from a company? You're like
Boycott?
banning. Yeah, they
Boycott.
boycotted this guy at TC Electronics, and he didn't even name the pedal. The guy that designed the sound bite from the band Steel Panther designed and called it the P blank blank SY Melter, and they go crazy. And they start throwing around terms that we have not heard before, like gaslighting. Like the guitarologist actually had to go look up the word gaslighting and show it to the audience. Then this other word we haven't used recently called ally presenting or something. Like there's some double term that had this crazy definition that said when you band together against somebody who's like white supremacist type thing, it's like all these words are sitting there waiting with these crazy definitions, and she's saying these things. So this guy said, forget it, I'm not going to make the pedal. Then the band Steel Panther said, okay, we're going to make the pedal. And now one of those pedals came out like 175. Today, 4 years later, you can't get one for under 350, just because it was this big turn of events where, I mean, the news was paying attention to it. It got a lot of coverage.
That's
and
crazy.
I think it was a big turn in the shift of what we're dealing with now. And you see how fast it came on, and you can hear this guy talking to us, the guitarologist, in a world that doesn't exist anymore. You hear him speaking, and you're like, oh my God, the words he's saying make sense in a different world that I'm not in anymore.
Yeah.
You can feel it. Yeah, you could feel it's a different dimension, literally, than what we're in right now. And just by the way he's presenting, it's like, he's presenting this craziness, like we used to think it would be. When you heard politically correct, it's like, what's that mean? So that's not a good thing. Political science ain't any good.
It's changed the face of a lot of things, that's for sure. The whole political correct and the whole woke, it's just changed everything for the worst. And we need to get back to just stepping on toes and calling it like it is.
Hopefully it's a fashion thing, like hip huggers. Like they're going to go away. It's going to be out of fashion. And people but in the 80s, there's this huge, the squeaky wheel gets oiled. And Jesse Jackson was yelling about everything under the sun until everybody just said, you're ridiculous. Everyone said it. It didn't matter who you were. You're like, everything you say, Jesse, you're destroying any fight you got, because you literally got ridiculous. You went from, that's okay, he's right about that, to he won't shut up because we always say yes to him every time. Yeah. And then the people kind of turn on you and make fun of you. And that's the way we used to deal with things. You kind of make fun of them. The news turned on them, and and kind of made it, he just looked like a joke. And we have to let those people, instead of getting mad, that's where the power comes from. When we get upset when these people do crazy stuff, that's where they get the power from, because then it's a defeat. If you're mad because they said something that hasn't probably even happened yet, you got defeated quickly. If we turn around and make fun of them, then they get to look ridiculous. Then their statement, they're a laughing stock for their statement. And I think we need to let's go Brandon. Perfect example.
Yeah, bingo.
So you got a very special guest tonight.
I believe so.
Wow. I can't wait.
It's going to be a good night tonight.
That dude's going to come with 2 6-shooters loaded. I guarantee it. And all you got to do is let him go.
Let him go.
Just let him go. And
take the leash off and say, giddy up.
Yeah, and you light your cigar and crack your beer and listen, because that guy, what I love about Mountain Man so much is he understands, he knows what we know, but his perspective is priceless. In many cases.
I've said hello to him a couple of times. There's my cigar.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I've said hello to him a couple times, but I haven't had the pleasure of actually getting to meet him yet.
He's a real mountain man. He's got a wood stove. Yeah, hey, he's the real deal.
Me and him have a lot in common.
Yeah, you're gonna like him. He's trying to send me his My Buddy. I asked him about the My Buddy heater. I was thinking, I better get one of those things. He's like, I'll send it to you. I'm like, no, dude, it costs more to ship it. Then I'll buy one. It's free shipping. I'll ship it. I'm like, no, he's a real generous, loving guy and a real smart guy, and I can't wait. And I hope everybody tunes into that, because I'm sure he's going to bring some.
Tonight. Yep.
Yeah, tonight's going to be a good one. You're about to meet somebody you're going to really enjoy. He just started his own channel. I finally talked him into just opening his own channel, because he always calls me with these amazing thoughts or perspectives, and I'm like, dude, you're giving this to one person, and I can never repeat what you just said, and we need to get you on the air. That's how it started, because he would keep saying these gigantic things to me. I'm like, no, stop, go YouTube, see you in a few, and he never stops either. The guy's retired. He must be doing this 20 hours a day.
Well, I'm looking forward to tonight's show. I'm looking forward to meeting Mountain Man and having a great conversation, unleash the beast, and just let him do his thing. So yeah, that's going to be a great time.
I can't wait I hope he talks about his Trump speech, because he's real good, really, really good on the Trump speeches.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll have to ask him that question for sure. All right. Anything else you want to throw out there, Red?
No, I think I got everything off my chest.
All right. Well, it's always a pleasure to have you on. You know what? I don't know what the luck is for Podbean for you and I, but this is not good. So,
I loved it. I'm
gonna get home. Yeah, I'm gonna get home, and I'm gonna make sure that thing works, and we'll get you back over on Podbean here quick.
If it happens again, there's gonna be another confession.
Oh, man. Another Pete confession. Here we go.
Yeah. Oh, who knows? It could be anything.
All right. Well, thanks for joining me, Red. I really do appreciate it. Like I said,
thank you, Mike.
Love to have you back on here real soon. So
thank you.
You're always welcome. Always welcome.
Peace and love worldwide. Live your life before your life lives you.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you, Red. We'll catch you on the next one. All right, folks. Sorry about the Podbean this afternoon. I have no idea what happened. I'm gonna have to call Denise and have a conversation with her, because I think I got a couple more Podbeans scheduled for this week. So anyway, I'm going to be calling you here in just a minute, Denise, so we can discuss that. But thanks for joining us this afternoon. Much love. Love you all. Have a great rest of your day. And don't forget, we're going to be back on this evening right here, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And we will have Mountain Band joining us tonight.
Beaver, Oklahoma.
Live from Beaver, Oklahoma. Right here. All right. Love you all. Have a great day.